Hey, this is Charlie Sierra, and right now I want to talk a little bit about faith. So, I've always been a little annoyed because as a Christian, I've talked with people who say, oh, Christians believe in blind faith, meaning that you believe something even though it can't be true. And you hear science, like people are like, oh, I believe in science, you believe in faith, and things like that is kind of is a little bit insulting because maybe I think a little highly of myself when I think about my ability to perform logic and things like that, and so I get a little annoyed when someone says, oh well, that's nice because you're not very logical, so you have your faith, I have my logic, and yeah, it's a little insulting, but. One thing I notice, I'm also not very, I don't advocate wishful thinking. And so there are a lot of self-help people out there who are, they say, hey, yeah, the universe is going to give you this if you just believe this. And I want to hear that. I'm thinking, yeah, I don't know. I don't know about this universe thing, this impersonal universe that's going to somehow give me something good. Because molecules in motion somehow know what good is, right? Like just this random universe knows what good is, and so it's really hard for me to to listen to the self-help people talk about the universe when they really mean God, and then it's hard for me to listen to people talk about faith as if it's blind faith. I used to think of myself as kind of between the two, but in reality. I also don't like being between two extremes, right? Because there's a truth that you stand for. It's best not to be not something. It's better to be something, right? It's better to be the substance. So in the same way that, that good and evil aren't equal, right? The yin and the yang thing, that doesn't make very much sense because the evil, like good can exist without evil and it'll still be good. Evil can't exist without good because evil's definition comes from good, depends on good. The very definition of evil depends on there being a good. And so there must be a substance, there must be a positive, there must be something underneath this. And so when we think about the reason I'm going so deep into this is because first of all, it has to make sense. We can't just pretend. We can't just be wishful thinkers, right? But at the same time, we don't want to act like, we have to believe that there's a right and a wrong, or else why are we mad at Hitler, right? I mean, why are we, it's like, well, what's the point? It's like he wasn't really wrong, right? So our hearts tell us that there's a right and a wrong, and then our minds should tell us that we can't just have an empty faith. And so let me read a quote by C.S. Lewis, who's one of my favorite authors. He said, faith is the art of holding on to things in spite of your changing moods and circumstances. So what he's saying there is he's not saying that faith is, you should believe even though something can't be true just because you want to, He's not saying that at all. He's saying that faith is the art of believing something even when right now things seem off, right? They don't seem like it doesn't seem like it's true right now, and so you get down on yourself. No, faith is the ability, it's the art, it's the skill that you develop to hold on to what you know to be true regardless of the circumstances right now. Because circumstances are always deceiving. They always trick us. We always think, in the morning we think things are good, and in the evening we think things are really bad, and nothing's really changed. It's just our feelings have changed. And we look at things and we put meaning in things. We say, oh, so-and-so did this, that must mean X, right? Or this happened, or I did this, and that must mean this. No. There are a lot of times, most times, we give a lot of meaning to things because we're trying to read the cards. We're trying to figure out what's going on in the universe and what's going on in our lives and everything, and a lot of those things have no meaning. They don't. That's why we worry about stuff so much, and it never really happens, right? We worry about so many things that don't come to pass. We worry about those things, and they don't come to pass. because our feelings are telling us stuff. Faith is saying, no, it's not about feelings. Faith is saying it's not about, faith is the opposite of what some people say. People say, oh, faith is, when you want to believe something. No, it's not when you want to believe something. It's when something is true, and right now it's hard to believe it because of what's going on around me, because things have a different color right now. I'm looking through different glasses right now. The key is to be able to build up that faith muscle. Is to be able to build up your ability to keep that faith. Because you know what? To be a warrior means that you go up against overwhelming odds. What happens when you spent your life trying to be a realist and never developing your ability to overcome, never developing your ability to lead, to inspire first yourself and then others to believe the impossible because you must? So now what happens when you're in a situation where you need to be a hero, where you need to lead other people who don't have the belief? What happens? Are you going to all of a sudden develop all that skill in just a second? No, it has to be developed over time. Yeah, there are times that people that they're in the right place at the right time, and their heart just opens up and they become a hero. They're able to help people, they're able to be the leader. But that's a different thing, though. A lot of times that happens when there's nobody outranking them, and they look around and they say, well, shit, it's up to me, right? And so they step up because that was always in them, to step up. What I'm talking about is when the chips are down, when it looks painful and everything's blown up, everybody's blown up around you, and you have a couple of guys that you're leading, and you have to make it work. That's what I'm talking about. What happens then? What happens when you're alone and the sky is dark and you have a gun there and you want to put it to your head because you want to be out of your misery? What happens then? Do you decide to have faith? Do you live? Do you decide that you want to be strong for other people? Do you decide you want to fight through this, and so that you can turn around and help others fight through it? Because now you have the experience? Because it happened to you? Because something happened to you and then you turned around and said, you know what, I have faith, and then you happen to it. That's victory. Victory depends on faith. It depends on believing that it's possible, that victory can come. And I've been through it. We've all been through it. We've all fought through things. Some of us have never fought through things. I guess some of us maybe have bailed too much. And so you never really got it. You never really learned it. You never really built the character. But it's not too late. And so I'm going to read that quote again from C.S. Lewis, and I hope it sinks in. Because what he's saying, and I've read his writing on this before, so I know that this is what's behind it. He said, faith is the art of holding on to things in spite of your changing moods and circumstances. It's not wishful thinking. It's also not cold, hard reality where the universe is impersonal and nothing has any meaning. But it's not giving things too much meaning. It's letting things be exactly what the hell they are. And then saying, you know what? I'm going to take this into my hands, and I'm going to believe that, for instance, God's promises are going to come true in my life, or I'm going to believe that I have the ability to influence this situation, that my force of will allow me to conquer here. Because I'll tell you what, other people need to see that. They need to watch you do it. You need to do it for other people and not just yourself. If you want to talk about this further, please go to forum.combatbrotherhood.com, and that's forum, forum.combatbrotherhood.com, and create an account, comment, and I will meet you there and we can talk. This has been Charlie Sierra, and I'll talk to you all later.